In today's video, I show you how to fill application for Canadian passport. It's quite simple. It won't take much time. I'll show you everything on the screen, how the form is getting filled, the most common question you will have in your mind that you'll get answered, how to overcome technical difficulty while filling application online, that will also get answered. Some of the question you have not thought about, that will also get answered. And just help me with one thing. That is, in case you find anything relevant and you think that it might help others, please help me with the timestamp. I will put that as timestamp so that people know that this question is getting answered here. And also don't forget to subscribe and share this video. For Canadians, I have made several videos which you can see on the screen, and this is going to help you, if not today, tomorrow. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Without wasting much time, let's go to the computer screen. So this is the website canada.ca, and you see apply for a new adult passport in Canada. I'll go over the form in a little while. You can fill this form online, but you have to submit either by walking into Passport Canada office, that's within Service Canada office, or you can also send a mail copy. I'll show you that option also. The most preferred method would be that you do a walk-in and submit it by yourself, and this is going to reduce a lot of timeline and issues as you would be physically present when submitting this application at Service Canada, that is Passport Canada location. And in case you don't have access to computer or you cannot go for online application, you also have hard copy available at the Canada Post location. It is free of cost. You can just go to any Canada Post office and grab a copy. You'll have to do that by hand, the filling of application, and there are chances that there could be error in what you're filling, and for you to make correction, you will have to again fill the application. Or when you take this to the counter at Passport Canada office, while doing the transfer of whatever you have filled in, because somebody will have to manually fill that from what you have written, there could be chances of mistake. So better to fill online and carry that to submit the application. So once you are on this website, once you click here, you come to this page. So fee range from $120 onwards. You come here, get the form and submit your application. Once you click here, you come down, download the adult passport application. So this is the application. This online application opens, and you see here you see it's 8 page. Don't worry, it's only 3 page which has to be filled. Remaining, let me show this 1, 2 and 3, and remaining 4th page onwards is the instruction on how to fill this application. So once you're watching this video and you go through, you will get to see how this entire thing is getting filled. Once you fill and you save, you will get a QR code here, and in case the QR code is not getting generated, that means you are using a wrong Adobe format. Again, I leave the link for the Adobe format. You can just go and use that, and you will not have any issue with the QR code generation when you are filling the form and finally doing a save. So this is the application which I have entered everything. I have not yet saved. You will get to see how and what happens. Here is the personal information section. Everything you have to do in capital letters. So you will see this using black or dark blue ink. So including your email address, everything will be in capital letter, and when you are doing this typing, by default it will show up in black. When you are doing it on a physical copy, you will have to make sure you are using either a black or a dark blue ink. Then you see here personal information. In the personal information section, surname comes first, that is surname or last name, and then comes given name as it has to appear in passport. Now, if you have recently acquired citizenship, how it is given in your citizenship certificate, you can just make a reference, make sure you make no mistake, and the entry will get made accordingly. If you were born in Canada, your birth certificate would have the name. Make sure it matches accordingly, and that's going to make it easy for you. Now, once the surname is entered first, then given name, all former surname, including surname at birth, if different from above, that will get entered here. Now, this is not going to appear on your passport. Once this is made entry here, next comes surname of parent at birth. This could be any one parent. you enter the surname. In case there is no surname, in that case, you see here, you can enter unknown, and don't worry, in case your application has any observation, the agent will call you on your number and confirm before the passport gets issued. Otherwise, if everything is good, everything is checked, whatever you have entered, same thing will reflect on your passport. That's why make sure whatever entry you make is correct and up to date. Then you have this section, anticipated date of travel. In case you have anything planned, you can enter that. Now, the fastest way you can get a passport is going for the urgent one. We will talk about that little later. And if you are going for the ordinary or general way of getting the passport, like in my case, when I applied the passport, after I applied and it was not the urgent one, it came to me within 10 days. So within 3 to 4 weeks you will get your passport. In case you have a travel plan, you can enter that. Otherwise, you can enter unknown. And then applicant's place of birth. Now, if you are born in Canada, you will enter the Canadian city, country as Canada, and then province. From this drop down you will select. If you were born outside of Canada, then as you see here, I have entered Delhi and country as India. Then this part will remain blank. Then comes date of birth, and in this date of birth, this is the format. Year comes first, then month and date, and that is entered. Then sex, you have these three options. You choose the sex. Natural eye color, you enter the eye color. If you're not sure, you can just do a walk-in clinic and meet with your family doctor and ask for the eye color. I'm sure you would know what your eye color is. Then comes the height. It is either in centimeter or inches. You can just enter the number. That should be fine. And then current home address. You enter the number, street, and then the apartment number if it is there, city, province, and then postal or zip. So whatever you are making entry, right, you will be giving supporting document. It has to match with that document. I'll talk about document also a little later. And if mailing address is different, then you make an entry again. In my case, the home address, mailing address was same, so I left it blank. Then comes email address. So even if it is a smaller case, enter that in uppercase like how I have shown here. Then your telephone number, and if you have any other telephone number, you make that entry here. Now this signature, right? The signature section, this is not editable. So once you have filled the application form, you take a printout. That's when you will do the signature. There are 4 different places where signature are required, including one from Guarantor. As we proceed with the video, you will get to see those details. So again, with the signature has to be done within the boxes like how it is shown. This is the correct format and this is the wrong format. So make sure signature is well within this box, that is this box in this application. By hand, you'll have to fill the date and sign that city and province you have to mention here. Then comes the guarantor. Before I show how this has been filled, let's see who the guarantor is. So this guarantor must be able to communicate in English or French, has to be a Canadian citizen 18-year or older, and hold a 5-year or 10-year Canadian passport that is valid or has been expired for no more than 1 year on the date of passport program service for this application. So you need a guarantor who is a Canadian citizen 18 years or above and holding a passport either a 5-year or 10-year. This person has to know you for at least 2 years. And you know this guarantor, and the guarantor should be able to confirm this part. Now here, when it says 2 years, it does not mean that the guarantor has to be citizen for 2 years. The guarantor need to have a passport, Canadian citizen having a passport, 5-year or 10-year passport. For example, if I became Canadian citizen last year and I know you for last 3 years, I could be your guarantor. Just as an example, I'm giving you. If you have any of your family member who is a Canadian citizen, they can also be the guarantor and they should be available for verification. And it also says a Canadian passport holder guarantor does not need to reside in the same country as the applicant. Guarantor has 3 tasks and this has to be done free of charge. You see here, free of charge. So one is to complete or validate the information entered in section 2, declaration of guarantor. Let me go to declaration of guarantor. So this is the section where their surname, given name, date of birth, Canadian passport, number. You see, this is required, date of issue, date of expiry, relationship, to the applicant. If it is friend, it is friend. If it is family member, wife, son, daughter, whatever that relationship is, that you will enter telephone number and the home address as it is shown. So this is where the signature of guarantor will come, and here I have known the applicant for number of years. So it has to be more than 2 years that the applicant has to know this guarantor, or guarantor has to know this applicant. So this again, only after you take the printout, the guarantor will be able to sign, enter this number of years. So then comes date and sign that city, province, territory, state. This is one part. The guarantor also ensures that you have completed and signed all 3 pages of the application before submitting it to the guarantor. Then write, I certify this to be true likeness of your name. That is, your name will come on back of one of your photos and sign it. So you need 2 photographs. For photograph, make sure you go to a photo studio. I had gone to Walmart and they know the specification. Your photo, they will make sure it matches the passport requirement. The photo studio will put a stamp like this where their address and photo taken on date will be mentioned. Now in some cases, the photo studio also gives you this stamp on back of the photo. In case it is there, that's completely okay. The guarantor is supposed to write this with hand. I certify this to be a true likeness of, and then your name. So make sure to remember this when you take the photograph to the guarantor, to write this and then guarantor signature. The back of photo section is not going to have much space. So you will have to manage to get the photo studio's detail and then this part from the guarantor and guarantor signature all in this space. So this is the photo instruction. As I said, if you go to any good photo studio, they know and they will exactly get the photo what is required. The third one, if applicable, sign and date a copy of each document to support your identity. So we'll go to section L. Here you will have to provide a support document for identity. Now, if you have a driving license or a health card, for example, Ontario health card, you will have the requirement, that is name, date of birth, your photo and signature. Both driving license and health card will have. Just check for the document. I'm sure one of the document you will definitely have either a driving license or a health card. If not, your province issued photo ID will also have all this detail. If you don't have, then you are given more options which you can go and read this here. And if you are submitting copy of your ID, each side must be copied and then signed and dated by guarantor. All original document that you submit will be returned to you. This third part you might not even require if you have, as I said, driving license or health card. When you take that physically to the Passport Canada, they will verify and hand it over back to you. If not, if you are sending it by mail, in that case, you may have to get this certified by the guarantor. If you don't have any eligible guarantor for at least 2 years, you can submit this statutory declaration in lieu of guarantor form PPTC 132. So I will make a separate video for this, how to fill this, and you have to complete this form, sign it before an official authorized by law to administer an oath or solemn declaration. So this could be notary public, justice of peace, or commissioner of oath, and I think these are chargeable basis. So you will have to check this part. So better have a friend who can do this guarantor work for you. So the guarantor has to know you for 2 years and has to sign on back of one of the photo with the details and sign on this document here, write number of year known, date, and sign that city, province, territory or state. Once this is done, let's come down. Previous Canadian travel document. So here, in case you have Canadian passport, certificate of identity or refugee travel document, you will have to say yes and provide the number and date of issue. In my case, I selected no. You can see here. And then in case you have a Canadian travel document which has not expired, you must include it with your application. So if you're going in person, then you carry that and give it to the Passport Canada. Would you like the previous passport to be cancelled and returned to you? You have to select your option here. And then coming to section 4, which is proof of Canadian citizenship. Here, this part A is for those who are born in Canada. So you have to provide one of the document listed below, original only. Either it could be Canadian provincial or territorial birth certificate, you will enter the birth registration number and date of issue. If not, like I have shown here, certificate of Canadian citizenship, certificate number, and then date of issue or effective date of citizenship. Again, based on the detail, what you enter, that we get here. If you are born outside of Canada like me, then you will choose your selection. So in this case, I'm selecting certificate of Canadian citizenship and then enter the certificate number, date of issue or effective date of citizenship as it was mentioned on the document. So make sure it matches. Once this is done, then this section 2 to be completed. If you are born outside of Canada between February 1577 and April 16, 1981, if you are presenting a certificate of Canadian citizenship issued after January 1st, 2007. So in this case, I kept it blank. I did not select any of this option. In case you were born outside of Canada between this date to this date, and if your citizenship certificate is before this date, then this section you'll have to fill up. Now comes the document to support identity. Document to support identity, as I said, if you have driver's license or the province issued health insurance card, that should do your work. So you will enter the type of document, what it is. Here I have shown driver's license, then the number as it is given in the document, expiry date in this format, and then name as it appears on that document. So however it is written, exactly you write that name here. In case you have any additional document, as I mentioned, in case you don't have that requirement of name, date of birth, signature and photo, then you may have to have one more document, which in most cases will not be required. Then here you do the signature. Again, this is not editable. That means after you take a printout, you will sign here and put the date. Come to page 3 and here period of validity. Again, you have to choose one of the period, 5-year or 10-year. I chose 10-year. Depending on what you choose, the fee also varies, which we will see little later. And once the selection is made, additional personal information, that is the address section. If the space is insufficient, then you can go click on this link and fill the details and attach that along with this form. So if it is same address for last 2 years, then you select this. If it is different, you select this and then you enter the address detail here like how it is shown. So number, street, apartment, city, province, country, then your postal code, from and to. Make sure you make no mistake. And once this is done, occupation in the last 2 years, check all that applies. So if you were employed, if you were in school, full-time, part-time, or homemaker, unemployed, retired, whatever has been the case, you will select that here. And then you enter the detail. If you are self-employed, you will enter self-employed and then enter the address. Here, when I fill the application first time, this entire box, I could fill the address, both what you see here. Now, when I try to do, it's not allowing. So I will show you once we save, this should get saved. You see, everything is entered here and same with this, it's in 2 different lines. So I have entered like this. In the reference section, again, 2 persons who are neither your relative nor your guarantor are 18 years of age or over who have known you for at least 2 years. They must agree to have their contact information provided as they may be contacted to confirm your identity. So their details get filled, surname, given name, relationship to the applicant, their address. So you see here, you'll have to reach out to 2 people to give the reference and their detail has to be filled in this section. Again, email address also has to be in capital letter and they have to mention how many years they have known you, just how it is filled here. So just to give you more context, here is the definition of references. So these 2 references, 18 years of age or older, have known you for at least 2 years for passport application. Agree to you using their name and contact information for your application. And these references have to be available if and when needed to be contacted. For example, they are not traveling outside the country. If they are in different time zone, it may take longer to contact them, which could delay your application. Now, people who can't be your reference, again, your guarantor cannot be the reference, a family member such as spouse or common law partner. And once you come down, more definition is given. A boyfriend or girlfriend can be reference if you are not in common law relationship. If your marriage or common law relationship has ended, your former spouse or partner can serve as reference. Then there's a long list which will guide you on remaining thing. Emergency contact information, this is optional, so you can enter the details here, and I have kept it blank. I did not give any emergency contact information. Then this signature of applicant, again, after you take the printout, you will sign here and enter the date. So this completes the application, all 3 pages. Check, recheck, cross check. As you keep filling, make sure to save this file just by clicking save. Click here on download with your changes, and once you open the downloaded document, this is how it's going to look, and you can see the QR code. I've of course hidden this, but this is how the application will look after you have downloaded. Now if you're using an older version of Adobe, you might not get the QR code. You may have to figure out downloading that, or you may need to take assistance from the Service Canada helpline. They will try to figure out how this can be done. If not, then you will have to look at doing a physical document, which I would suggest try avoiding unless you are not able to fill this online. Signature comes here. 1, let me go down. Point number 2, signature of guarantor comes here, and I have known the applicant for number of years, date and signed at city, province, state, territory. This is signature number 2, which is guarantor. We'll come down further. Here, point number 5, signature of applicant and date. Then further we come down to point number 9. Here, signature of applicant and date. So 3 signature by the applicant and 1 by the guarantor. That should take care of all the signature part. Now that you have your application completed and it has been signed in all 3 pages, you see here, and also certified by the guarantor, that part is done. You need 2 identical unaltered passport photo. One will be certified by the guarantor, the other one just as it is. If both has been signed by guarantor, no worries. Then proof of Canadian citizenship, original only. If you are doing a walk-in, you will hand carry this. The person at the counter will check the document and return this document to you then and there. Document to support identity, original and copies. Copies must be signed and dated by your guarantor. Original will be checked and given back to you by the person at the counter. Any valid Canadian travel document, in case you have, if you're doing first time, you will not have this. If not, you will carry this document along with this, and then the fee. So again, fee depends on whether you're going for 5-year validity, that is $120, and if it is for 10-year validity, it is $160. I went with 10-year, that way I don't have to renew after 5 years, and it's a peace of mind. This is for someone who is applying in Canada. If you're applying from US, this is the fee you will pay, and method of payment for in-person application, credit card, all these credit cards are accepted. Then prepaid card, embossed only, debit card, Interact. So basically, if you have a credit card or a debit card, it will work. You have all this list given. You can go and check on your own time. If you are sending the application by mail, in that case, these are the payment method. And if you are sending it by mail, then you will also have to fill the credit card information in case you are going to do transaction through credit card. So you will enter the card type, name as appears on card, card number, date of expiry, month and year, name of the applicant, and signature of the card holder, authorizing the amount that will be written here depending on 5 or 10 years passport and date. Now, one question you will have is, can the card holder be other than applicant? So if you are a family and the person applying does not have a card, you can enter your card information if you have, and you can pay for your family as an applicant. So for each of the family member, it will be separate application, and you will be entering this detail. For applying in person, you will have to do this at Passport Program Regional Office or a participating Service Canada center. Not all Service Canada has passport service, so you can check the closest fastest passport service of your location by going to the website. So this is the website where you can find the passport service location for your place. To find a location, you come here and enter the postal address. And once you enter, you will be shown the result of all the location which is near to your place and what service gets offered at that place. So you have delivery by mail, standard pickup, express pickup, urgent pickup, all that at this location. Now this is very close to my place. Other service location you can see does not have all this option what is here. So you can check for your location like this. This passport service is high in demand service. So if you're planning for a walk-in, you may have to wait for many days. Now what I did was, when my citizenship was near and I knew the date, I just went to the passport office and inquired with the security on which day usually the footfall is less. And I was told at this location, Wednesdays are preferred days. And actually, I went on Wednesday. I just had to wait for 45 minutes and my job was done. So you may want to do such thing in advance. For this expedited service, this is available only in person, and you can see here urgent pickup, that is you submit the document today and by end of next business day. For this you pay $110 extra. For express pickup, that is 2 to 9 business days, you pay extra $50. And standard package, that is standard pickup, on or after 10 business days, you pay $20 extra. So there are other fees. You can have a look at this. In my case, I went for a standard pickup and I got my passport delivered in less than 10 days. So I did not have to go for this expedited service. On the day I was submitting the application, I did see someone who had come for this service. That person had some exigency at home and had to travel. And I did see that, his application was processed and I think he was told to come either on the same day or next day. When you make a visit, you will get to know about this when you go in. This urgent passport, what are the circumstances and what you need to provide? As a proof, you need to provide airline, bus or train ticket if traveling by car, a written statement explaining why you need to travel, a travel itinerary showing proof of payment, proof of illness or death in family requiring you to travel, a written statement from you or third party explaining why you need passport, for example, legal, banking or residency requirement. And I did see the person who had come to avail the service. In his case, he had a confirmed itinerary which he showed to the agent who was collecting the document, and based on that, his passport application was processed almost immediately. So keep those things in mind. The best way to do is do it beforehand so that you don't have to go into this urgency mode. And if at all you have to go, under what circumstances and what proof you need to provide. If you're sending my mail, these are the address for British Columbia, Yukon, Northwest Territory or Nunavut. For all other province and United States, this is the address. And to send by courier, this is the address. Now, I personally would not be comfortable sending my mail because here it says original document has to be enclosed with the application and these are valuable. Recommendation is to use courier or mail service that allows you to track your package, and all original that you submit will be returned to you, and this will be separate from your new passport. It may take up to 6 weeks for you to receive your original document. I definitely would not be comfortable doing this, especially if something gets lost during transit. The problem is mine. Nobody is going to hold my hand. I definitely would not go for this option. In person is better. That's what I think, and I would leave it up to you. Once you have applied for the passport, all your documents gets verified by the agent. If you're making a physical visit, your original document will be given back to you, and then all your payment information will also be handed over to you with an estimated date by when the passport would be made available. In my case, Canada Post did not hand over the passport directly at my address. Instead, they dropped the detail in my mailbox to connect with them by getting a photo ID to collect the passport. So I walked into the Canada Post location where the address was given, and after showing the photo ID, after verification, I was handed over the passport, and that's how it's going to be in most of the cases. They need to verify that it is you. If you get it at doorstep, well and good. If not, this is what will happen, and you will have to make a visit to Canada Post location to collect your passport. Once you get your passport, make sure to check everything thoroughly, and there is a section in the passport where you will have to put your signature. And sometimes when you are traveling to any other country, the country immigration might ask you to show that signature. Even otherwise, you're required to do that signature on the passport. And once that is done, get a photocopy made for your record, and also keep a digital copy so that you have reference of all the detail what is there, especially the passport number. So friends, this is the entire process. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any question, please use the comment section. And as I said, please help me with the timestamp, which will help anyone who is coming here to know what is important information which you think should be timestamped for others to go and have a reference. And goes in ultraviolet. This is how the pages will turn. Thanks for watching Canada Driving District.